sustainability with money, time, and energy. And I put this infinity symbol here because it's like how to make sure the the money, time, and energy flow is balanced back and forth and everything in between. So, maybe if you've ever felt like, hey, I'm doing all this work up front, or I'm putting all this money up front, or putting all this energy up front, or maybe it's just like, hey, I'm doing delayed gratification and all the payoff is way at the end. But when it pays off, it's going to pay off, baby. That's the mother lode. It's like that's come up too. But in between now and then, it's just like the energy isn't flowing. So people have I've been having a lot of conversations, people feeling burnt out, people feeling like, a bit of resentment, people not wanting to, but, it's like they just felt that like, this just can't do this forever type deal. So that's been in conversation of how can we tweak this arrangement? That's what it is, arrangement, whether it's a relationship or a business relationship or whatever. How can we tweak this so that the energy is flowing in the short term, the medium term, and the long term? And so one practical example of this is, I was just talking to a gentleman before this. He connects people. He's like a relationship connector to help people, grow their business. So he collects them with clients, and he's just feeling burnt out of just like, man, I'm, some people don't want to pay me at all. Some people just want to pay by commission. And like, long story short, what's been finding out is like a retainer plus percentage seeming to be the best in certain arrangements. Like, how can we have energy here right now and also have energy later? And so without getting into the weeds of like that specific example, I would say that's what we can do today is release and clear any resistance we have to having balanced energy. And that might bring up self-worth issues. It might bring up trust issues. I think of myself, if I look back, I feel like there's many times in my past where I didn't feel, I guess, comfortable for like asking for something that was balanced. And I would be like, oh, okay, I'll just be fine in the short term. And then, then it'll be balanced later on. But what I'm finding is that then it's just like there's no gas in the car. It's like and then doesn't go as smoothly. And I think one last thing I've seen this too as well come up with nonprofits and like purpose-driven businesses where I'm going to just be very blunt. It's like people are afraid to have the money conversation because they don't want to seem like that's their only motive. They want to serve. And what I was just sharing in another conversation with two people who have a spiritual business is like, I used to view it as like, oh, I don't want to be overtaking and this taking. And like, now I view it as sustainability. How can we set up the money to be sustainable so that things are flowing and we end up doing this long term? Otherwise, the debt will have to be paid from somewhere. And it will be pulling from some other entity, some other business, some other cash stream to keep this moving because they were working on a software for many, many years. And it's like, no, that's the thing. It's like, how can we have this be fair exchange, sustainable, set up right now, and then we'll grow together on and on.